Stories shrink-wrapped for Saturday. Folk God awakens. Dylan re-emerges at Isle of Wight. Munchies, likened hiatus. And Edison makes the movies without popcorn. Plus, coming up, experts claim Antarctic penguins are secretly training to be professional line dancers. Those are the headlines. May the news rain down on you.
And do news bang, serving truth straight, no chaser. 1969.
The Isle of Wight has been overrun by a horde of unwashed hippies and their pet llamas. Eyewitnesses report that the invasion began when a mysterious bearded figure, believed to be the elusive Bob Dylan, emerged from the sea riding a giant electric guitar.
Local resident Ethel Codswallop described the scene. It was chaos. They were everywhere, playing bongos and offering free love. I haven't seen this many long-haired layabouts since the great dandruff epidemic of '62.
The festival, now in its third day, has seen an alarming increase in tie-dye-related injuries and severe cases of the munchies. Emergency services are struggling to cope with the influx of flower children, many of whom are suffering from acute exposure to folk music and psychedelic substances.
Police are advising residents to stay indoors and avoid making eye contact with anyone wearing bell-bottoms or sporting a peace sign. The situation remains tense as authorities debate whether to deploy their secret weapon, a fleet of combine harvesters to mow down the overgrown hippie population.
Date 1897.
In a development that has rocked the world of Victorian-era entertainment, Thomas Edison has been granted a patent for his diabolical invention, the kinetoscope. This infernal device, capable of trapping moving images inside a wooden box, has been described by eyewitnesses as witchcraft, and probably the work of Satan himself.
The kinetoscope, a name derived from the ancient Greek words for motion and viewing, allows a single person to peer into a small hole and witness what can only be described as sorcery. One horrified onlooker, Reginald Fiddlesticks of Poughkeepsie, exclaimed, "I saw a horse galloping, but it wasn't really there. Is this the end times?"
Edison's employee, William Dixon, reportedly went mad during the device's creation, muttering about capturing souls and freezing time. The pair's unholy alliance has resulted in a contraption that threatens to unravel the very fabric of reality.
Critics argue that the kinetoscope will lead to moral decay, with one concerned citizen, Prudence Chastity, warning, "Next thing you know, people will be watching moving pictures of ankles. Won't somebody please think of the children?"
A news bang, sorting out the mess of history one fact at a time.
And now, for a weather report that's as unpredictable as the British summer, here's our resident meteorological maverick, Shakanaka Giles, with today's forecast.
Alright, let's get to it. Weather watchers. Down south, it's going to be a right old storm, like the Matagorda hurricane of '42, a real howler that'll have the trees doing the Charleston. Batten down the hatches, lest you get swept away like a feather in a tornado. Over to the east, it's going to be a Rusa-level typhoon, the likes of which haven't been seen since 2002. Expect gales strong enough to pluck the roof off your house and deposit it in the next county. Might want to invest in some heavy-duty wellies, my friends. As for the north, it'll be a balmy day, perfect for a spot of sunbathing. That is, until the weather does a complete 180, and the skies open up, drenching you like a cat that's just had a bath. Bring an umbrella, or you'll be singing in the rain through chattering teeth. In summary then, a hurricane in the south, a typhoon in the east, and a temperamental north. Sounds like a right old mess, doesn't it? Best stay indoors, grab a cuppa, and let Mother Nature have her way. And that's all the weather.
Day 1888.
Breaking news from the streets of Whitechapel, where the body of Mary Ann Nichols has been discovered in Bucks Row. The gruesome murder, marked by a savagely cut throat and horrific abdominal mutilations, has sent shockwaves through London. Police are baffled, with no leads on the perpetrator of this heinous crime. The impoverished Whitechapel district now gripped by fear as rumours swirl of a skilled killer on the loose. For more on this chilling development, we go to our crime correspondent Ken Schitt. Ken, what can you tell us about this grisly affair?
Ladies and gentlemen, gather round for a tale that'll make your blood run colder than a gravedigger's shovel in January. The year is 1888, and the streets of London are about to be painted redder than a whore's lipstick. Mary Ann Nichols, known to her drinking buddies as Polly, had her last dance with the devil on Bucks Row. This poor sod, a working girl trying to scrape by in the cesspool of Whitechapel, became the first notch on Jack the Ripper's belt of butchery. Picture this. It's darker than Satan's arsehole, and some poor bastard stumbles upon Polly's corpse, her throat slashed wider than a politician's smile. The Ripper didn't just kill her, oh no. He carved her up like a Christmas turkey, leaving her innards on display like some sick window dressing. Now you might think this is just another sad tale of a lady of the night meeting a grisly end. But no, my friends. This was the opening act in a grand guignol of gore that would leave London pissing its collective pants for months to come. The coppers, useless as tits on a bull. They couldn't catch a cold, let alone a killer with a hard-on for disembowelment. And so began the legend of Jack the Ripper, a phantom that still haunts our nightmares to this day. Poor Polly Nichols, the first victim in a parade of carnage, may she rest in peace, and may the Ripper rot in whatever hell spawned him. This is Ken Schitt, reminding you that evil lurks in the shadows, waiting to turn your guts into garters.
Earton News Bang, presenting the world as it is, not as it should be. Date 1897.
For a journey through the annals of scientific innovation, we turn to our correspondent Calamity Prenderville. Calamity, enlighten us about this revolutionary British invention that changed entertainment forever.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we're taking a trip down memory lane to celebrate a true British innovation that changed the world of entertainment forever. On this day in history, our very own Thomas Edison, yes, he was secretly British, was granted a patent for the kinetoscope. And, modern cinema.
A wooden box with a peephole powered by the finest British electricity. Inside, a strip of film whizzes past faster than you can say, "God save the Queen," creating the illusion of movement. It's like a flip book, but for grown-ups.
The kinetoscope was the brainchild of Edison and his assistant, William Wild Bill Dixon, who spent countless tea breaks perfecting this marvel. They drew inspiration from the great British tradition of peeping through keyholes, elevating it to an art form.
Now, you might wonder what kind of thrilling spectacles these machines offered. Well, prepare to be amazed. You could watch such classics as man sneezing and cat playing with ball of yarn. Truly gripping stuff that had viewers queuing for hours.
The device was an instant hit in pubs across the country. For just a halfpenny, patrons could enjoy 5 seconds of pure cinematic bliss. It was so popular that the Queen herself reportedly had one installed in Buckingham Palace, though she complained it didn't show enough corgis.
But the kinetoscope wasn't just about entertainment. Oh no, it also served as a highly effective weight loss tool. Users would become so engrossed in the moving pictures that they'd forget to eat for days on end.
So next time you're at the cinema watching the latest 3D blockbuster, remember to raise a cup of tea to good old Tommy Edison and his marvellous British kinetoscope. Without it, we might still be staring at cave paintings for fun. This is Calamity Prendeville, signing off from Newsbang.
Big Ten News Bang, the deafening rattle of reality's rusty shutter cam.
And now, for a touch of royal reflection and a dash of Irish charm, we turn to our correspondent Sandy O'Shaughnessy. Sandy's here with a poignant look back at a day that shook the world and left an indelible mark on our hearts. It's a report some listeners may find too soon.
Nice and easy.
Good evening, my dear listeners, and thank you, Martin Bang, for that eloquent handover. It's me, Sandy O'Shaughnessy, here to spin a yarn or two and take you on a little stroll down memory lane. And what a day it is, ladies and gents, as we cast our minds back, not just through the mists of time, but to a moment that's etched in the hearts of many. It was 1997, and a fairy tale turned tragic when Diana, Princess of Wales, along with her partner Dodi Fayed, met with that fateful car crash in Paris. The world stood still, hearts skipped a beat, and the hands of every clock seemed to linger a moment too long. A princess, not in a castle, but in the hearts of people everywhere. She left behind a legacy of love, a touch of glamour, and a world of good deeds. More than you'd find in the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, I reckon. Now, you wouldn't expect a bit of royal talk without dipping into a letter from one of you, would you? Here's one from Bridget in Ballina. She writes, Sandy, every time I hear about Diana, it's like losing a friend all over again. Thank you for keeping her memory alive. Bridget, I think we all feel a wee bit like that. She had the charm of an Irish lass and the grace of a swan on the Shannon. Aye, the people's princess indeed. Now, before I send you off into the evening, a quick nod to our history. The past that's written, the future still a draft, and the present, well, it's our gift, isn't it? So, hold your loved ones a wee bit tighter tonight. Share a kind word or two. And remember, in the grand tapestry of life, each thread counts. I'll be here again before you can say Buckingham Palace, but until then, it's see you later, alligator. In a while, crocodile. Keep those spirits high and those memories dear. Good night, and God bless.
All over the country, for everyone.
1969.
And on this day in 1969, the Isle of Wight became the epicenter of musical history as Bob Dylan emerged from his 3-year hibernation to perform at the festival. An estimated 150,000 music enthusiasts descended upon Wootton Creek, transforming the sleepy island into a veritable mecca of melody. Dylan's return to the stage was nothing short of a cultural earthquake, sending shockwaves through the very fabric of the 1960s counterculture. For more on this momentous occasion, and its impact on the world of flares and flower power, we turn to our cultural correspondent, Smithsonia Moss.
Now at this point of the evening, we welcome listeners on FM who've just joined us.
Whoa, y'all. Gather round. I've got a story to tell that's going to blow your mind, and it's all about the one and only Bob Dylan, the king of folk, the lord of lyrics, the emperor of eccentricity. So, it's 1969, and the Isle of Wight festival is in full swing. 150,000 hippies, freaks, and music lovers have descended upon the island, and the vibe is electric. Now, Bob Dylan, the man himself, has been MIA for 3 years, living in the woods, drinking tea with the Beatles, and generally being a mysterious recluse. But the times they are a-changin', and Bob's back, baby, with a newfound love for rock and roll and a haircut that's more pompadour than protest. He takes the stage, and the crowd goes wild, like a bunch of freaking groupies on a mission from God. They're waving their arms, screaming, and generally losing their minds. Bob, meanwhile, is cool as a cucumber, strumming his guitar and singing like the poet laureate of rock. The setlist is a mix of old and new, with a few surprises thrown in for good measure. He plays like a rolling stone, and the crowd sings along like it's their national anthem. He plays "The Times They Are A-Changin'," and the hippies start to get all teary-eyed. And then he plays "Lay Lady Lay," and the whole place erupts into a frenzy of dancing and debauchery. It's like nothing anyone's ever seen before. The music is loud, the crowd is wild, and Bob is in his element, like a conductor leading his orchestra of crazy people. It's a night that will go down in history, a night that will be remembered for generations to come. And when it's all over, Bob takes a bow, and the crowd cheers for more. They want him to play all night, to keep the music going until the sun comes up. But Bob's got other plans. He's got a date with destiny, a date with the zeitgeist. He's got a message to deliver, a message of peace, love, and rock and roll. So if you were there, you know what I'm talking about. And if you weren't, well, you missed out on something special. But don't worry, the music lives on, the spirit of '69 lives on, and Bob Dylan's legacy lives on. That's all for now, folks. Keep on rockin', keep on rollin', and remember, the times they are a-changin'.
News bang, where relevance is always in season, not always flavorful.
And finally, let's take a look at tomorrow's papers. The Times: Germans invade Poland, Europe in ruins. There's a map there of the invaded areas. The Guardian: Gaddafi seizes power in Libya, hooray say Libyans. I think that's a joke. The Telegraph: St. Lawrence Cathedral unveiled, very nice say priests. That's got a big picture of the thing. The Mail: King Idris in hiding seeks lost poodle. Not sure that's entirely accurate. The Mirror: Wielun and Westerplatte. Where is that then? Helpful geography lesson there. And finally, the Express: Virgin Mary looks on as cathedral opens, not impressed. I'm sure that's not true. That's it, on the day we learned of a spate of umbrella thefts in Hull. Now, the shipping forecast in Doggerel, then I'll read out some serial numbers.
Tune in next time for more artificially intelligent hilarity. News Bang is a comedy show, written and recorded by AI. All voices impersonated. Nothing here is real. Good night.